This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You are watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
All right, Matt, Joe, thank you very much for having me in the gym again.
Welcome. Good to see you.
And it is for you too. So you're about to put on your second promotional show, which is just across the road there at the Newcastle City Juniors. Before we get onto that one, let's have a quick recap of your last show. Was it successful for you?
Yeah, it was really successful. Got some really good feedback of everybody that attended, and I thought it was a great venue. Couldn't fault the venue one little bit. Couldn't fault the Hilton staff who bent over backwards for and helped it really well. And I thought the quality of the boxing and the bouts was really good boxing show.
One of the things that I think people can look back on with this show, compared to a lot of shows, and I'm not digging other shows out at all, but you put on fights where the home fighter wasn't necessarily guaranteed that victory.
Yeah, that's right. Like I said from the start, to all the fighters who sign for us and who box on the shows, if they're really serious about their careers, then they'll have to step up and fight us what we think accordingly fits them at them times. And obviously the fights were pretty close, but everybody who's come along to train with us is aware of the situation and are sitting down and ask them from the word go, what do they want out of boxing? And they all want a career, they said. And the way to get careers is to guide them and give them fights at the right time, but fights that they know they're going to be in, rather than just have somebody stand in front of them as a punch bag, No,
that's true, and every single fight was entertaining, would you agree?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. All in different ways as well, so it was, like I say, it was an entertaining show, I think, with the crowd. And like I say, the feedback's been absolutely positive, so it's great to hear for us as a promotion company moving forward, that people are actually enjoying coming to our shows.
Now I know that you're not doing this for money at the minute, and maybe one day that hopefully you'll be hoping to make some kind of money out of it, but these first few shows, so financially was it like a break-even kind of fight, a show first time? Yeah,
it was. Was a lot of cost went into putting that show on. Obviously we're being with first as well, we're starting from scratch with everything, so basically it was getting everything, all the costs up front run. This one has got its own financial burdens with it.
Well, there's 9 on this one.
Yeah, it is. But after that show at Christmas, realistically, we'll kind of take a step back now. Every show we put on has got to be better than the last one. And I think that's where this year we're looking to do things.
Okay, and how's Sam Wallace after the last fight? Because in my opinion, he was handling his opponent very, very comfortably for the first 3.5 rounds. He got clipped, he went down. He looked a little bit wobbly for a few seconds, but he seemed to recover quite well. He was against the ropes, but after watching it back, his opponent wasn't landing anything, and in my opinion, the referee stopped it too early. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, I think it was, looking back over it, I think it was a soft stoppage. Sam was perfectly okay. Straight afterwards, he was speaking and he was all there. Like I say, I think he walked onto one. He was so much in control of that fight, and he switched off for that second. And while now boxing, if you switch off for a second, that's what can happen. So basically, but he's put that to bed now, and he said it's never going to happen to us again. He says, and he's come up with a great attitude, and I wouldn't expect anything else off Sam getting on. He's that type of kid. He was devastated at the loss, but he's put it to bed now. We're going to move on, and we'll learn from that.
And Enrico, he got a draw. Do you agree with the decision?
I do, yeah. Looking back over it, Rico was boxing brilliant, and then I think he just got an adrenaline dump in the third round as he came back and says, I kind of feel my legs. So I think what it was with Rico that night, he hadn't boxed for 2.5 years. He was fighting against an undefeated fighter as well. His family was there that he hadn't seen for a while. The occasion.
They were loud.
Yeah. And I think in the changing rooms, as you know, I had to pull him up the ceiling a couple of times because he was that excited. But hats up to him, he dug in there and I thought he'd done really well. Remember, he's only 20 years old still. He's just a Ben. So I think the future loads well for Rico.
Actually, I haven't asked you about Nathan's performance actually on the show before that.
Nathan.
Class, isn't he?
He is. He's a class kid. And the skills he showed on that show, I wouldn't expect anything else of him. He is a very, very talented young man. But to show his talent, he's got to get out there and box again. And you can look great in your spawn, but you've got to perform on the big stage, sort of thing. And all these lads are novices. So they'll not be taking too big of a step up to start with. It's about getting the right fights at the right time. But the fights that they will be in will be competitive fights, and they're all aware of that.
So on February 26th, just across the road there. Actually, firstly, how's the tickets going? Because 2-3 days ago, you only had like 95 standard tickets left.
Yeah, it looks like they're going okay. Getting some positive feedbacks off the boxers who are boxing on the show, saying that their tickets are going well as well. So it looks like it's going to be another sellout, and good. That's great for the fighters when it's a sellout. The crowd there. Once again, it's not a massive arena, but the crowd that'll be in there, it'll be chock-a block, so the atmosphere will be good. And once again, it's a good venue for the fighters to start on again.
Now, is it 2 of your fighters on the show? There was meant to be 3, but you've now got Nathan on the show and Rico, and you've got 7 other fights.
Yeah, Rico, Nathan's on. Sam's picked up an injury there in Spawn on Tuesday night, so waiting for him to be assessed at the moment. But it looks like we might have to leave the Spawn alone for at least 3 weeks. So I'm not gonna hoist Sam in without having any Spawn involved. So it looks like that one's off, which I'm gutted for Sam. But these things happen in boxing, It was just unfortunate that happened on Tuesday in Spawn.
Now, can you confirm or deny the rumours I heard literally a few minutes ago that you're now managing somebody else on the show?
Well, that hasn't been announced yet, so we'll wait until that actually happens,
Well, I mean, we won't say who it is just yet, but he's a fantastic lad, though, isn't he?
He is. He's a nice lad. And like anybody that knows is not. I get friendships built with people. There's somebody's son, somebody's daughter, somebody's husband, somebody's wives. At the end of the day, they're human beings before the boxers. And like, I'll not treat anybody just like a piece of meat. I'm not in the game for that, I know how tough it is. So it's about treating these people right, and send them in the ring is in the right frame of mind, right physical condition. So as a happy fighter, as a dangerous fighter,
That is very true. And how many shows do you plan on putting on? Will I be right to say that you plan on doing another 2 or 3 after this?
Yeah, we're looking to put on probably another 3 promotions. And I'm sitting doing with Jaffas in the next couple of weeks when he's back off holiday. And then we're looking to do a couple of joint shows together, me and Phil, so everybody knows I've got a good friendship with Phil, and we work really well together,
You're not going to Sunderland, are you?
You never say never, do you?
I'm joking to any Markhams out there.
No, but we've got honestly, it's a great relationship I've got with Phil, and when I first started out in the sport, he helped us massively. When I was just a trainer then, and he helped me with my fighters and managed the fighters I was training really well. So kind of really fulfill what he's done for us, in the past. So.
Now, looking back on your first show, and we're so close to your second show, are you enjoying the promotional side?
It's different, but once again, I've got a good team around us who in the 3 Dans who are absolutely fantastic, who do all the nitty gritty stuff, and basically they're leaving me to sort out the stuff on the gym side of things. So basically it's leaving me to train and manage still, which I think that's probably my strongest part of it,
And what about the matching? How's that been going? Because you've got a new matchmaker now, Jack.
Yeah, the matchmaking for this shows went really, really well. Jack was on it straight away and got the matches sorted out pretty quickly for her, which is always a big help.
Hey, Jack.
Just
going to introduce Jack with his social media blue tick.
But he's a genuine lad and his heart's in it. So it's great bringing him on board to work with her,
And how have you been getting on with the matchmaking for this show?
Honestly, it's been matchmaking's never easy, but it's not been as hard as anything. I've got to give Matt credit, and I've got to give Sam Kinnock and other managers that have been on this show great credit, because they are willing to actually let their fighters in with people. Like, you quite often will get managers reluctant at the moment to step in, but MTK and Matt particularly have been good enough to allow me to pitch fights to them, and I don't think there's been very much they've knocked back at all.
That's quite good, because I know that the board, no disrespect to your employers, but they are getting quite picky with the opponents and that nowadays.
Yeah, they're out for health.
Understandably so, for some reason.
They're out for health and safety, and I'm not going to say anything whether they like them or not, don't like. But the board allow it if the fighter's competent and they know the game. But they're a lot more strict now than they perhaps were in recent times, and maybe they have to be, because there's a rise in white collar guys turning over, who some of them can fight, some of them can't. That's not a disrespect to any white collar fighters, but you sometimes get guys who've had 3 or 4 white collar fights and turn over. If you've had 50, that's different. So I think the board had to be stricter on it, and they are. And so managers like Matt and MTK have been a godsend when they let you match their fighters a little bit tougher and give some probably 60-40, 50-50 fights. That's an absolute godsend as a matchmaker. Okay,
and Matt, there's going to be quite a few other boxing shows coming up to the Northeast in the first quarter of this year. Northeast seemed to be a hotbed last year in the last quarter or the last half. Will you be looking to work with the likes of Boxer and Eddie Hearn and Probellum, MTK, Dennis Hobson, of course, is coming up in that as well?
Yeah, sure. All these names that you mentioned there are a lot bigger than our promotions at the moment. They've been going around for a lot of years. But like I say, if we can work with these other promoters as well, it's only going to benefit the boxers in the Northeast. To say I've got a stable of fighters here who just because they box on our promotion shows are still open to box on other promoter shows as well.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah, it's about building their careers, and if they can get out, if I have 4 shows a year and they can box four times a year on my shows, and then get on the other shows, they could be sitting on 7 and 8 fights at the end of the year, which is great for them starting out, So and that's where we're going to progress. And remember, they're not just going to be fighting at home, our fighters either. Want to break them in correctly, so over the next 12 months I'm going to try and keep them on our shows at home as much as we possibly can. But my fighters will be going on the road as well, and if the fights are right and we think that they're right at the right time, we'll take them fights as well.
And how's the gym going? We'll close off with the gym. Every time I come here, it always seems to be pretty packed.
Yeah, the gym's thriving. It's we've got a lot of people in here, a lot of young'uns coming in, and it's just gone from strength to strength. I think what it is obviously we'll secure a little bit of funding for free lessons. So the kids in the area who can't afford to come train in normal gyms actually come in, because them sessions are paid for. So we outreach to these kids in the area that there's free lessons on in here, and they come in, feel part of the place, and even when these free lessons are finished, we never turn a kid away. We're always looking for something else so these kids can stay in here.
That's it, because you're involved in not just the pros but the amateur system in that as well.
Yeah, I think it was about 30 36 amateurs registered.
Well, I'll be right. Maybe I misheard that you have handed over your amateur to your guy over there.
Well, what we've done, I've obviously took a little backward step on them, but I'm still involved with them. But the other coaches have stepped up, and they're in a little bit more, because a lot of them are like personal trainers as well. So they've been doing a lot of personal training out of the gym for themselves. So they're here a lot more now. So they've committed that little bit more into the gym. So I think we've got somewhere in total. I think we've got about 7 or 8 coaches and about 7 or 8 volunteers as well. And there's a couple on the level 1 course now as well. So we'll have even more coaches in,
So if anybody wants any tickets, to hit up your social medias, there'll be emails and that as well.
Yeah. I think Danny's put out everything out there, and I think he's put the number on the bottom for if anybody's wanting tickets, just to give it a buzz. And if there's any left, Danny will sort you some out,
All right, Jack, close us out.
Look, just get yourself down here February 26th. It'll Newcastle City Juniors. It'll be a great night for North East boxing, and if you don't trust me, then you will after that night.
I totally agree with that. You agree with that, Matt?
I do, yeah, totally.
All right, guys.